Welcome to You're Cordially Invited, the show that brings you candid and informal interviews with some of the best wedding professionals in the Washington, D.C. metro area. We hope that you enjoy the show, and at the end, we hope that we have inspired you to take these individuals along on your next social affair. Welcome to You're Cordially Invited, the video show that brings you candid and intimate conversations with some of the best wedding professionals in the Washington, D.C. metro area. Today we're going to talk with Double Jess from Paired Images. We have in the studio today Jess Latos and Jess Notor Giacomo, two wonderful young ladies that I have the privilege of working with on a regular basis. So I want to introduce them to you and allow you to get a chance to get to know them better. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
How are you today?
Good. Yourself?
Good, good. So you're off from a wedding weekend?
Yes. I worked 2 weddings this weekend.
Wow.
Yep, we had one yesterday.
Okay. Is it always like that?
This time of year.
Yeah, this time of year
It
gets a little bit more chaotic, but
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Paired Images. Let's talk about Paired Images. Who is Paired Images and where did that name come from?
Paired Images is definitely us. It's definitely Jess and Jess. We kind of mixed our personalities and how we came together into this thing called Paired Images. Together we're more fun.
Yeah.
We have more fun together. That was sort of the premise for the whole starting a business together.
Okay.
And I poured over a lot of articles about naming your business for months to come up with a name. We originally wanted to play off our names since we both have the same first name, but it didn't quite work out that way.
No, there was another Jess and Jess out there.
Okay.
So paired, we are a pair. We photograph pairs. Just made sense.
Okay, wonderful. And do people, because when I first met you guys, I thought you all were sisters. Do people always think the same thing about the two of you?
It's pretty much the same question. The first question everybody asks.
We get the same question pretty much every time.
Yeah.
People ask us, "Are you sisters?" We say no, and then they ask, "Are you together?" We now preface networking events with, "We are Jess and Jess. We are not sisters. We are not together. We are friends."
Just go ahead and get it out the way.
Exactly. I think people get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
So there's different types of photography styles that are out there. First, let's say 3 words to describe you guys.
So we kind of see our business as we're individuals and then together. So I have 3 words for me. She has 3 words for herself.
Okay.
And then we have 3 words for Paired Images.
Okay.
I say that I am energetic. Oh wow, and I forgot my words already. Let's see, I had energetic, straightforward, and emotional.
Okay.
And mine would be more honest, calm, quiet. Because they definitely represent who we are as people, too, how you are as a photographer. Paired Images is definitely more fun, clean.
And simple.
Yeah, that's how
imagery.
we like our
Yeah.
photos to be.
So I think those 3 words definitely describe, how you guys are. And how did you two meet to formalize Paired Images?
So in 2005, we were both working for another photographer, managing a studio, basically doing everything for him. And that's how we met, and we worked really well together.
And then she left me. And
we continued to work weddings together. I would hire her to come up to Philadelphia, where I was living at the time, and I would come down here to help her with weddings. And then in 2008, we decided to officially start a business together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And there's a statement on your website that says, photography is life and light. It can be a whisper or a shout. It is me, it is you. It communicates emotion, mood, and time. Photography is limitless. I like that phrase. Kind of describe why you put that on your website and how it translates into your everyday business.
So Jess is a much better writer than I am, and that's her. She wrote it, and I said that's genius.
Well, for us, photography kind of is everything.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't really known anything else.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing it our whole lives.
We
both
started
of
at
us.
very young ages. We went to school for it. And yeah, I mean, that's sort of how we feel about photography, because that's the way we know how to express ourselves.
Mhm.
I don't know, it is kind of everything to us. Like, neither of us can imagine doing anything else with our lives. So.
Okay. Well, you do make the perfect pair. So, do you both shoot the same? Like, does one do photojournalistic style shooting? Does one do more of the candid style shooting? Kind of describe your styles of shooting.
When we started, we were very different
Yeah.
photographers.
Mm.
We were trained very differently.
Yeah.
Because we went to completely different types of schools. And
And it's more meshed. Like, we'll still look at weddings now and kind of question ourselves as to who shot a particular photo.
Mm-hmm.
we forget.
We forget.
Because we've learned so much from each other over the 10 years that we've been working together. So we kind of, started to shoot like each other
Mm-hmm.
and say, oh, I really love the one image that Jess took. I'll have to remember that, for next time, like to pose the bride a certain way
Yeah.
or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is. Yeah.
Okay. And is your style more paired images as a whole? Is it more photojournalistic or?
So
we love this question.
Yeah. So, wedding photography is not, for us, it's not just photojournalism. It's a combination of every style of photography out there, from advertising to products to portraits. I mean, you get it all
Mm-hmm.
in an 8-hour day.
Yeah, I mean, you have all of your candid moments, obviously, with all the people, and then you have all your family photos, and then you have all the details. So you kind of need to mix all of those different styles in order to tell the complete story of the wedding day.
And do it fast.
And for that bride that's not comfortable in front of the camera, how are you able to capture those shots of her and make her feel comfortable?
So I'm usually the first to get to the bride. Jess usually goes with the guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I do a bunch of different things. It really depends on the girl. We do breathing. I have them breathe, take
Mhm.
breaths. I have them make silly faces at me.
Mhm.
I have them shake it out. Because once you get all that makeup on and you have your bones in your dress, like, you feel like you can't move. So I have them wiggle, and I have them, just come back to, like, this is reality.
Mhm.
We're still having fun here. And you keep an open dialogue as well. So
You can still be yourself.
you talk
Mhm.
and,
Just make them feel comfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
Forget that there's a camera involved.
Yeah, they never can do that. Most of the time, they're very aware that the
Mhm.
camera's still there. And that's okay. It's just, just focusing on other things.
You just want them to feel a little loose, relax a little bit.
Exactly.
And how do you know when you've captured that special moment?
We were
Do you all
talking
ever
about
like
that.
look at each other like, that's it?
Sometimes
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
We give each other this look across the room. We're like, yeah. And then,
Other times you don't know until you look at it later.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like we were saying, weddings are so fast paced, and we're just, kind of running around a lot, and the hurry up and wait kind of thing all the time. So sometimes we don't know, like, we're just in the element doing our thing, and then we look at it later and we're like, we really nailed that one.
Yeah.
Or, like, we really had that connection right at that moment, or whatever it was.
Okay, awesome. And do you think of yourself as an artist or a storyteller, or both?
Both.
Both. Okay.
yeah.
Do you get more into telling the story when you hand them their album, or as you're taking the photographs?
I actually
wow.
think the blog post tells the best story.
Yeah.
Within like 2 to 3 weeks after the event, I put up a blog post of every wedding that we photograph, and it's my opportunity to choose the photos that I believe tell the story. So that I feel like always tells the
It tells the
most
most
accurate story.
honest story of the day.
The
Well,
album, we let them choose their images for the album.
Okay. So the blog kind of helps you to tell your own story from your
Exactly.
own particular view.
Right,
exactly.
Okay. All right. Wonderful.
I think that's the most fun too for us too. It's more for us. It's like our finished product, and the album is their finished product.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Never looked at it that way. And do you just photograph in the Washington, D.C. area?
I don't know, we're all over the
All
place.
over.
It's everywhere. We've
We do.
been to numerous islands. We've been all over the country.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite wedding location?
We don't have one. I mean, there are wedding locations that we love to go back to. But we really love shooting in new places. We love exploring and just, really.
We get excited about new locations. Yeah.
Do your clients ever ask you, like, have you ever shot there before?
Oh, yeah.
Every client asks that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel that's necessary, though? Because
No.
I don't think so either. They
No.
always ask me, have you ever planned a wedding at this particular venue? I think that if you continue to go over and over to the same venue, you're not, like,
You get-
advancing yourself. You're not...
It's a little stale.
Yeah.
And you tend to use the same things over and over again. And
Which is fine. The clients love the images, but for us, it's not as exciting. We really like finding new nooks and crannies.
I
And
like being challenged.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you all always work together? Do you ever work separately?
We do
Yeah.
split up sometimes. We do offer packages with only one of us. Like, sometimes people are only having 50 people at their wedding, and then we're just in each other's photos the whole day. So it makes sense, to only hire one of us, or sometimes we'll shoot with a second photographer, and we'll split up and do 2 weddings in one day. But for the most part, we work together.
And when your clients come to you, how do you get that opportunity to get to know them?
Well,
Time.
yeah, we tend to have lengthy meetings at first.
Our first meeting.
Our
with
first
them.
meeting, and talking about other things other than their day helps us. We're not gonna lie, we Google them after they.
Really?
Well,
We do.
Social media, Facebook, Instagram. That's a great way to get to know people.
And you have to know their interests as well, because other than we don't know them as individuals before they come in most of the time, and so it just helps to.
And engagement sessions
Yeah.
help. We don't have a huge number of our clients that get engagement sessions, but the ones who do, obviously, we get to know them better because it's just more time that we can spend with
I think the
them.
engagement session is when you all do have the opportunity to get to know them a little better.
Oh yeah.
I try to push for the engagement session with my clients, but you have those few that kind of like stray away.
Yeah.
But that is your time to relax. You're not in a time constrained environment. You're not around a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
So you get a chance to get to know them a lot better.
And they get to see the pictures that they think that they look the best in, which is always interesting because on the day you'll find that they'll automatically go into those positions that that they really like during their engagement session, and so it makes the finished product better.
And as far as the services that you all provide, besides photography, what comes within a package of paired images?
We really try to keep it simple. So, we really try to push our albums because we love our album company. And, they're just beautiful.
And this is one of the albums that you have here.
Yeah.
And that's a metal cover.
Oh.
And then the rest of it is leather. And
Okay.
they're really thick pages. They're kind of indestructible. We've had numerous of these for many years. They've been touched by many people, many coffee shops, and they've held up really, really great. So
Now, as far as the design and layout of the albums, is that something that you all come up with, or does a client?
we pretty much
design
do everything in-house.
Okay.
So all of the editing and color correcting, album designing, we do ourselves. We do send out the albums to be printed.
Okay.
Because that would be a little too much for us to
Yeah.
handle. But all the computer work is done by us. We're kind of control freaks when it comes to that stuff. But that's part of the creative process too with digital photography.
And they get to pick out their own style of album that you'll have.
We pretty much only stick to one style, like
Style of
design-wise.
design.
But yes, the outside they get to choose how they want it to look.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, we like to keep things simple. We don't like to give people too many options and confuse them, and so.
And when clients come to you, what are some things that you want them to capture upon that initial visit of meeting with Jess and Jess?
We always say it's the Jess and Jess show.
Yeah. We like them to feel comfortable with us. That we're fun. We're real people.
We're relaxed,
Mm-hmm.
and we are. We have a sense of calm on the day. I mean, that's one of the big things that most of my brides say to me, at least. You guys, you just got me through this. Because that first few hours is really stressful for a bride because everything's going to start. She's going to, you know what I mean? So they're usually pretty stressed when I'm in there alone with them.
And the grooms too. The grooms are usually very stressed the first couple of hours too, and I think they're so happy when I walk in and I'm like, just do whatever you're gonna do. Like, don't worry about me. And they love that because they're not really sure they want a photographer there while they're getting ready because they're like, oh my gosh, one more thing that I have to think about and worry about. I'm like, no, I'm just here hanging out. So it works out well.
Yeah.
And when someone is looking for a professional photographer, what are some key things that you would tell a client that they should be looking for in their photographer?
There's a lot of things. I mean, professionalism, of course, is one of the number one things. Like having insurance, paying your taxes, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that they're a real business.
Yeah.
Because there are thousands of photographers that come up overnight.
There are. We tell people to look for sharp images on websites. That's one of our biggest pet peeves.
seeing out of focus images.
Yeah.
It's a big pet peeve.
Tell people also to look for images that they're still going to like in 10 years.
Okay.
Because we feel that there's a lot of photography out there now that is very stylized and very filtered, meaning there are filters in front of your picture may be yellow.
During the post-processing,
Yeah.
a lot of photographers, and we all use a lot of filters or processes, that we take our photos through to make them look a certain way, like our style sort of thing. And we don't tend to do that. We tend to just keep everything clean so that it is timeless. And there are lots of styles that are timeless, but then there are some that are just like the recent fad, or like the yellow filter, like Jess was saying, that was definitely a fad a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Stuff
like that.
Speaking of fad, and this is kind of a little bit off the cuff, how do you feel about the unplugged weddings as far as people with their cameras and stuff, as you guys being the professional photographers, how does that relate with your job being there?
So we have mixed feelings about it because on one hand, it is an interesting photograph when you get all these people on their iPads and their iPhones. It's like sort of a sign of the times, what era we're in, photojournalistically speaking. But on the other hand, we really want people to be engaged and be involved, and we want to scan the crowd with our camera and get shots of people smiling and, engaged, and them letting us do our job. But it just gets out of control sometimes, and we don't care if people just take a couple of shots, but the people, 10 people videoing
they
the
jump
ceremony.
into the middle of the aisle and
Right, exactly. It's just unnecessary.
If mom and dad have a camera, that is a big no-no.
There are certain people on the wedding that should not have cameras.
Right.
Exactly.
You've been to a couple weddings and they have a camera?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. And they're sitting on the front row.
Yeah.
It's not okay to walk behind the bride and groom with a camera either.
Oh, no.
As a guest.
That's okay. So you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Some no-nos when you are a guest at a wedding.
Stay in your seat.
Yes, definitely. Let the professionals take the photos. Well, ladies, it's definitely been a pleasure having you here today. So how can people in the area find you?
Our website, social media, we're pretty much on everything.
We are Paired Images on anything, so.
Okay. PairedImages.com, Paired Images on Instagram, Paired Images on Facebook.
Yeah. Twitter.
Okay.
Pinterest.
All the social media.
Everything, yeah.
Okay. Well, wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us today. And I want to thank everyone for joining us for another episode of You're Cordially Invited. And if you need some fabulous photographers in the DC metro area, please contact Jess and Jess of Paired Images. And they're out there everywhere. Social media, you can find them. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.